Hey, what's up, guys? Today I have top 5 of the worst smartphone fails of the last few decades. And to start it off, I have the first phone, the Google Pixel R. Sorry, the Google Project R. Now, this thing is a totally modular phone. The modularity makes it a failed device. This is because the modularity only works best on PCs and laptops, but this thing does not at all work on phones. Yeah, it's great. You can interchange parts and replace with new and more better parts, but this thing makes the phone bulky and huge, and this makes the phone uncomfortable in many ways. And people did not like it that much, so like they did not wanted to invest anymore in this, and they dumped the thing, and this thing remained a project. So I'm positioning it in number 5 for this reason, because they did not launch it. That's why. For the next phone, we have the Aquas, the Sharp Aquas. It was the cutting edge phone of the era it came out. This thing had an infinity display that no other phone had at that time. Now, the reason of this coming in the failed phone smartphone list is because this thing was a great piece of technology, but they did something wrong with it. So the company that brought it out is Sharp. When they brought it out, they thought that it's going to be a top notch, a top of the line piece of tech, but after a few days they took it back. They thought that this thing would not sell at all, and they took it back. They recovered it and never sold it again. So it's a fail because they did it too soon, and they should have waited for a bit longer, so to see if they did sell it or not. For our next smartphone, we have in the list the Nokia 808 PureView. Now this thing is a masterpiece of tech of that century. This thing was launched in 2013, and this thing, the only selling point of it was its powerful, pretty huge camera sensor. Yeah, that was the only selling point of it. Now the reason of this being a flop because of its OS. It had a pretty old Symbian OS which had to be in a keypad phone. They just took the software and modified it a bit to fit that phone and put it in it. This thing is a smartphone, but though being a smartphone, it ran a Symbian OS, and the thing was pretty backdated, and people did not like to use it much. So like they did not buy the damn thing, and they had to dump it. So like for doing that, Nokia had a great loss, and Nokia had to retrieve all the units of it back, or just had to dump it in the market and never look at it again. Yeah, it comes in number 4. Now in number 3, we have the Nokia Lumia lineup. Now the Nokia Lumia is supposedly a great phone with great hardware and software compatibility, but the only reason it that makes it a failed smartphone because of its Windows OS. Yeah, this thing ran Microsoft or Windows OS in a phone. Now people did not like the concept that much of running a Windows OS in a phone, because it was not that convenient to people, and it was not at all user friendly. It had a pretty complicated way of working, and people did not like that kind of software in a phone. So like people did not want to buy it anymore. It also had some and a virus. It also had some virus issues, and it also sometimes crashed. So like that's why people did not want to buy this kind of phone, and they just stayed in Android or iOS platforms with phones. Yeah, this comes in number 3. So for the for the second, sorry, this comes in number 2. 2. Yeah, 2. And the 808 PureView comes in number 3. Yeah. Our number one smartphone that had failed in the list is the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. This thing was a huge deal. This was the cutting edge, best hardware, best software type of deal that you would ever get. But what happened to it? It blew up. Yeah, it literally caught on fire, and not only one, almost each and every unit of it caught fire. So Samsung had to return them back. All the unit they have returned back, and they replaced all the units with the Note 8. So whoever bought the Note 7, they gave them, they took back the Note 7 line, returned them with the Note 8. Yeah, it was a pretty huge loss for Samsung, and many people had to face many kinds of problem with it. And there was also a time when you could not take it on a plane. Yeah, you could literally not take it on an airplane because of its potentiality of catching fire. Yeah, that was it, and I did place it in number one because it was a pretty great fail. So that's all, folks. If you have liked the video, support the channel would be amazing. And I'm Rafat saying goodbye for now, and peace.